You've sat down with Joel Fitzgibbon today, the full interview coming up on Afternoon Agenda. What's he had to say?
Well, he's done nothing to prevent those divisions getting harder and firmer, I guess. He's stoking the fires of leadership speculation here a bit, I think, Ashley. He says that Anthony Albanese is struggling in the job and that there's angst in the caucus and the union movement in terms of his performance. Have a listen. You keep saying this publicly, that he should take Labor the next election. But you're not that happy with his performance, are you, at the moment? You don't think he's really taking it up to the government at the moment, do you?
Look, I think he's struggling, and so too would a young Bob Hawke. I think in this COVID environment where incumbency is so powerful.
Do you accept there's frustration and angst amongst your caucus colleagues and in the union movement that Labor aren't making more inroads?
Yes.
And how great is that angst?
It's substantial.
And we know, Ashley, that on First Edition with Laura Jays this morning, he suggested Mark Butler shouldn't be in the climate change role. Richard Marles then said Mark Butler would remain. I reported yesterday that if Mark Butler wanted the job, Anthony Albanese would be keeping him there in the broader reshuffle later this year. So I put it to Fitzgibbon that he's basically lost the battle here. Mark Butler is going to stay in climate change. He's out of shadow cabinet. This is what he had to say.
If Anthony Albanese wants to win an election, and I said this morning, I don't say this with any disrespect to Mark Butler, if he wants to win the next election, he needs a new salesperson in that role, a fresh face. It's not a reflection on Mark, but moving somewhere else where he can, again, exercise his talents, and he's got plenty of it, and give someone else a crack.
Because it looks a bit like you've lost the battle with Mark Butler, doesn't it? You're out of shadow cabinet, he's still in there, he's going to keep his job, it seems.
Well, we'll see.
Now, Ashley, he confirms that there was some sort of deal or arrangement with Ed Husick to come in 18 months in. So Albanese backers really pressing this point that he was going to go from shadow cabinet in a month or so anyway. But it doesn't seem like Joel Fitzgibbon will be silenced, which is what they want. I've had one Labor MP suggest to me today that I needed to understand that Joel Fitzgibbon is basically after a job in the mining industry, and that's why he's doing this, and that he will be retiring. So some supporters of Albanese getting pretty exercised by Joel Fitzgibbon's outspokenness about the leadership and about the sort of performance that he wants to see from the party in a policy sense.
Yeah, you can understand why after some of the comments we've seen this week, Andrew.